Hi, I'm Wire. Welcome to Wireworks. Hi everybody. Finally getting to this radio. I know I promised you guys I'll be doing a radio a couple radios ago. So what we're going to do is I got this SONORA radio actually last summer. I was planning on doing it right after I did that Emerson radio, but I got tied up. What I'm doing is I am pretty much I'm going to start putting other things here on my YouTube channel other than radios. I took a couple of my videos down off of my personal account and just moved them over to this account. So other than radios, I figure I'll just whatever I'm doing, I'll just if it seems interesting, I'll just videotape it and put it on my Wireworks channel. One of the reasons why this channel is called Wireworks is I'm a biker, and I've been called Wire for 15 to 20 years now. So it really has nothing to. The channel has nothing to do really with radios, even though I do like to restore and refurbish radios and antique electronics. But I figure, well, I feel that I should add some of the other stuff I'm into as well, such as astronomy and maybe tuning up my motorcycle or something like that. I just don't want to just stick to one thing. I'd like to share some of my other hobbies that I like to do, as well as ham radio. So anyway, let's fire this up and see what we have on this SONORA. I think I got this for about 20 bucks on eBay. There's no shorts. And we'll also be testing the tubes on this. And I'll probably do an alignment, go through the whole 9 yards on this. This doesn't seem to be firing up. Let me see. Tubes are lighting up. And it's taking a little bit of time. Well, as you can tell, the filter cap needs to be replaced. So that's usual, and we'll also go through the resistors and check everything out and see if we can get this baby running. So let me unplug this. Maybe put a new cord on it as well. This is starting to crack up. Let me move this over here. And let me pull the schematic out and we can take a look at the schematic. I'll be right back. Okay, we got the schematic here for this. I think I downloaded this off of Beatman's manuals. So we have everything here. I was kind of really surprised that I got a lot of information on this radio. Alignment procedure right here, which we will do if it needs it. I usually like to blow everything up to see what parts are in this. It really doesn't have too many resistors or capacitors in this thing. 12 resistors and 8 caps and one electrolytic, which is pretty much for 2-stage electrolytic. 35 microfarad and 30 microfarad. So I'll put 33s in there. I think it'll be fine. Like I said, this is from Bateman's. Okay, this is all, well, I can't say it's all American. I'm pretty sure this is American radio. Not sure if Sonora radios are made in this country or not. It may have, because it's got a union label back here, so I guess this is a union made radio. So anyway, everything in the pink are the resistors. We're going to be checking all those, make sure they're in tolerance. Like I said, it's got 12 capacitors. This is an all-American 5 radio. Electrolytics right here, 9 and 10. Like I said, they're together. 5 tube, takes 12 SA7, 12 SK7, 12 SQ7, 35 L66 output tube, and a 35 Z5 rectifier tube. We're going to test all these on my tube tester. Like I said, I'm probably going to go through the whole thing with you guys, and I'll show you how I do things instead of jumping and cutting and editing everything. I'll be honest with you, the editing really takes a long time to do these videos, so I'm just going to go, and whatever I do, you guys are going to see. I really am not going to edit these videos too much, so you're going to see the screw ups as we go along as well. So let's go on it, get on this, and start working on this. See if we can get this thing fired up and working, and either add it to my collection or I may sell it. The wife's getting kind of antsy about me having all these radios here, so I may have to let a couple of them go as once I get them fixed. I've got about 15 or 16 of them here now, and I don't think it's a lot of radios, but the wife does. So let's get to it. We'll be right back. This is Wire at Wireworks. Okay, let's take this apart now. I've already taken the loop antenna off earlier. I don't know what this is for. It may be for a long wire. I'll have to see once I get in there. I'm hoping this comes out fairly easy. It really doesn't look like it will. Well, we'll see. Let's pop the knobs off. It came off fairly easy. Let's try this one here. Oh, that came off pretty easy as well. He's going anywhere. I'm a lefty, so if you can't see me taking this off, I apologize. I would like to be able to put my camera on the other side over here, but since I'm left-handed, everything is to my left, so sorry for the, like I said, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, let's put those in there. I don't want to lose them. never could understand why they put long screws in these radios. Okay, I'm going to have to get something to pull that dial down a little bit, because if not, it's going to bend and get hung up. So let's get this over to the end here. I think I'll be able to get it out a little bit easier. You know what? Let's try this. See if I can get this over top that. No, that's not going to work. This may work. See if I can get it over top that dial. Oh, for some reason I can't get this over top of that dial. Oh. There you go. We got it now. Dial's missing some paint, so we might have to paint that. We'll put the case over here. That needs to be cleaned up. Okay, let's take a look at this. Like I said, this 5-tube set. First IF transformer is on the top. And second IF transformer is on the bottom. It doesn't look like that's adjustable. So it's a little, I guess that would be easy. So as you can see, here are the capacitors for this. It looks like a fairly easy set to restore. So let me switch to my other camera, and then I'll give you a better view of this. Okay, we're back. We're on the other camera. Anyway, here's a view from the top here. I'm not even sure if that light's working or not. We'll have to see. It's a little on the dusty side. Somebody has worked on this before, because there's paint on the speaker, and like I said, it's a 5-tube set, and this is a long wire. So what I might do, instead of just letting this hang out radio, I might put some kind of a connector on the back of the loop antenna here. So you can hook, well, here's a wire for a long wire too. I'll have to read a little bit more into this and see what this is for. This might be the ground end of the antenna. We can check that right now. Let's check that right now. See if we have any continuity. And this is a dial string, so we're not even going to play with that. Oh, that's not the ground. It's not the ground side to that. to this. So let's look on the loop. This would be I don't know. I'm gonna have to read a little bit more into what this is for. It looks like it's for a long wire, but then we have another wire on the back of this. So maybe this hooks up to that. I think that's what it is. We'll see. I'm gonna have to read more onto that. Anyway, here's our tubes right here. So what I like to do is take them all out. Obviously, like I said before, somebody's worked on this because we have a Ward's airline tube. CBS tube. RCA tube. A Zenith tube, and original Sonora tube with all these different makers of tubes in here. This thing should be blasted out real good. We'll test them a little later. Like I said, this is a little dirty, so we're just going to clean this off a little bit. What I did for brushes is I went to the dollar store and bought one of these makeup kits for women. Seems like it had all the kind of brushes that I need to do radios. So you guys might want to think about that. Instead of spending a lot of money for brushes, go out to the dollar store, go into the women's section and makeup section and see what you can use. So save me a lot of money. Save you guys a lot of money as well. Let's clean this off a bit. I'm going to give it a good clean before we put it all back together. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm going to put it like that. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Okay, what we have here is we're definitely going to get rid of this, that, and the electrolytic capacitor. The way I like to do things is I really don't unsolder components. What I do is I cut them, and I like to J-hook all my new parts that I put in, for the simple fact that I don't. If somebody else gets this radio after me, they can see what I've done to it, and they'll know exactly what I did to it, rather than trying to figure out that I put this here or who worked on this or what. But it has original caps in it. The only thing that I see new in it, I mean, this resistor right here looks like a new resistor. All the other ones look like they're kind of beat. This mica cap is not even hooked. So we're going to put a new one of those in. In fact, what I'm going to do is probably put a ceramic capacitor in there. That's coming apart. So let's I wanted to do this so you guys can see as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you guys off for a little bit, and I want to test these resistors and see what we have to do to if we need to replace any resistors. And I'm going to get all my capacitors in a row here so we can get that going too. So we'll be right back. Let me test these resistors, see if they're okay. If not, we'll replace them. I'll be right back. This is Wire. Okay, I know I wanted to show you guys how I did this, but I'll be honest with you, I had no way to hold this up and work on this. And once I started going, I just didn't stop. Replaced all the capacitors, had two resistors that were out of tolerance, two 220Ks that I put right here. Let me hold that up a little bit. And one 220K I put right here. Called for a half a watt. All I had was 1 watt resistor, so I put that in there. I went over the power cord. Power cord seems to be okay. Replaced this cap, this cap, this cap, this cap, this cap. Had to put another mica cap in there. I tell you, for a chassis not being full up, this really wound up being a headache putting together. But next thing I'm going to do is fire it up and see what we have. So let me turn it around for you. I'll go back on my other camera. Here's all the capacitors we took out. Let me move this back a little bit for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So worked out 10 capacitors, including the mica cap. So I'm not even going to test these because I know they're all shot. Why waste my time? Chuck them in the trash. Let's spray this. This is a hot chassis, so I'm going to put the knobs back on. What I want to do is clean it up a little bit first. And actually, I still need to test the tube, so we're going to do that next. Let me get set up for that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I ain't going to test this tube right now. Let's turn this off, see if we can see this a little better. Press line to adjust. Okay, I've got the, we're testing the 35L6 right now. Let me turn this one light out so you guys can see this. I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not. If you can see the green. Let's try it. And that tests good. Filament is not really in the bed, but it's almost there, so we're probably going to have to replace this tube down the road a little bit. Let me do this. Let me try this again. Okay. Now it does call for dynamic mutual conductance to be 10. Well, that's real good. Okay, let me see. I didn't set the load right. Let's set the load again. Alright, that's better. Forgot to set the load. Now let's try this. Okay, that's good. So by all means, right, this tube is good. Let's go with the next one. Let's test the 35Z5. 35Z5. I guess we're going to have to get this up here. Load, the filament voltage is 35, which is set. F1 is F is 2, 3, F1 is 7, Q is 5, and the load is 10. Element analysis, no shorts. Okay, that tested good. Turn that all off. Okay, now we're going to test the 12SA7. I picked this tester up. It's I don't even know what the hell it is. Oh, it's a Seiko and model 107. I picked this up on eBay. The guy said it didn't work, and I got it for like $25 with including shipping. So, and it didn't work because the fuse holder was broke. It's not the original fuse holder. I put a new fuse holder in it, and it was great. It fired right up. Okay, 12SA7 goes in socket D, 8D. I don't know if some of you are familiar with this tube tester. Let me move it over a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. This is a socket side over here. If you're familiar with Seiko equipment, a lot of them already have prerequisite pin sockets that you can just look at the look for the last 3 digits, and it'll tell you what socket to go in. I usually don't even look at that, but if you don't have a book, and this actually came with looks like an old-time address book and the original book, so I've got really 2 books with this. And if it's not on here, then you use the tube sockets up here to test. But anyway, this wound up being a nice little tube tester. I like it. I did have a Precision 612, but I ran into some financial problems years ago and I had to let that go. Okay, this set filament voltage is 12. F and F1 is 2, 7, Q is 5, load is 60. That's good. No shorts. Filament's good. DMC should be 100. Well, let me see. DMC load is 100. So this is a bad tube. Dynamic mutual conductance is bad. 12 SA7. 12. 2, 7, 5, 60. So this is a bad. The emissions is testing great on this, but dynamic mutual conductance is bad. So we're going to put this off to the side and see if I have one. Just because it's test bad doesn't really mean it's bad. Sometimes you can just put it right back in the radio and it will be fine. But I'm going to see if I have another one that we can test. Here's another SA7. Seems to me this radio has two 12 SA7s in it, and it's only calling for one. So it's missing an SK7. I'm going to see if I have one of those, and if this is testing bad, we'll replace this one with the SK7. So probably that's why it's taking forever for it to fire up. So let's test this. 12 SK7. Oh no, SA7, I'm sorry. Okay, 12, 2, 7, Q is 5. Grid test is good. That's good. Emissions is good. This is testing bad as well. But just because it tests bad, it doesn't seem as bad. It tests the same way as the other one, so I'm going to put this on the side as good. And I'm going to try to find the replacement, the correct one for that. Okay, let's test this one. 12 SQ7. Okay. This goes in socket 8J. F and F1 is 7, 8. Q is 2. I tend to say that all these are bad tubes. Okay, this also calls for 4. And 5. The emissions test great on these tubes. It seems like the dynamic mutual conductance for the special. Okay, let's take this out. This Tests good. Okay, I'm going to cut you off right now. I'm going to see if I can find me a 12 SQ7. That's what this calls for right here. It had two 12 SA7s in it. So let me look in my stash and see if I can find one. I'll be right back. Well, I hunted around and I didn't have a 12 SQ7. So I think what we're going to do is put this back together, put it back in the case. Being since this is a hot chassis, I will not test this outside of the case. So I'm just going to put everything back. We'll put it back in the case, and I'm going to have to order one of these tubes. Let's see what's going on here. Volume control, tuning control. Let's turn this around. Make sure we put this all back together the correct way. Okay. L6 goes here. Supposed to be 12 SQ7 here is for the audio, and they got a 12 SA7 in its place. So we'll just put this one back for now and see what the hell happens. SK7 is next. Oh wait a minute, there's a SQ7. It's a SK7 that's missing. I don't have an SK7 either. I knew that. $12 SQ7. $12 SK7. Let me look at my book and see if we can substitute that. 12 SA7. 12 SA7. SK7. No, you cannot. According to this, you cannot substitute that with that. But we're going to do it anyway. 35Z5. Next to that is a 12 SA7. And let me look again. All I have are 12 SA7s and 12 SN7s. So anyway, I'm going to have to order one or two of those because I'm sure I'm going to get other radios. Let's put this in here. Actually, it's on. Let me flip it on just to see if the. I just wanted to make sure the pilot. Actually, I put a new pilot light in it. So I'm going to unplug this for now. Let's get it back in the case. screws back up in there. Let me get this back in the case, and I'll be right back. I don't want to bore you with me just putting this all together. Okay, it's all back together, and like I said, it was a 12 SK7 that I didn't have that this needs, not a 12 SQ7. So it's all back together. What I want to do is let's fire it up, see what happens. When the pilot light comes on, I don't know what this is going to do without the right tube in it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for me to go any farther with this.
Of faith in Jesus Christ, but confuses the watching world about what it means to believe in Jesus Christ.
And with that being an audio tube, I think that's what it is. Let's see, SK7 IF tube. So it's probably why it's not getting a signal.
New life, new lifestyle. Before you got married, ladies, you had a certain name.
Well, there's no more humming. I don't know if you can hear this or not. I've got it all the way up. So I really can't do anything else with this until I get that tube. So I'm going to call this as far as we can get. Let me order that tube, or let me maybe I've got a radio that's got one of these tubes in it, and if so, I'll pull it out and see if we can get this finished and get it online. Anyway, thanks for sticking out with me on this. I would say this is about maybe 60% done. Without that tube, there's not a thing I can do with it. So, like I said, thanks again for being with me, and if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Got anything to add to this, leave a note in the comments. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll probably, next thing I'm going to put on, probably, I'm probably going to have to work on my Heathkit oscilloscope, because I did a few things this morning. I left it on, and something burned out in it, and it was smoking and everything. So we'll probably work on that next. Anyway, thanks again, and have a nice weekend. This is Wired Wireworks.